What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Seasonal Road Show. I'm your host, and today we're here to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, this movie has been getting rave reviews from the first reactions. I was waiting on that because I honestly felt that was about to happen. I can see it. And I didn't listen to any of the rave reviews before. All I know is that they're saying that it's good or it's great or it's damn near perfect. So let me get into a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys a few things about the film. I'm not going to get into spoilers. I'm going to save that for Sunday's episode. Try to do it sometime this weekend to kind of help let people see the film before I get into it. But honestly, people are raving about this film and I don't understand what they're raving about. I expected this, honestly, because Deadpool films just aren't great to me. There's nothing really there. There's no substance. There's a bunch of jokes, one-liners that, again, that's supposed to draw a crowd reaction out of it. And that's just what these films do. And again, going back to the comic book accuracy, yes, Deadpool broke the fourth wall. Yes, Deadpool had a lot of jokes. But that wasn't Deadpool's whole story arc in these comics, like, at all. Like, he had something going on. There was things going on in these films. And in the comics. And with these films, it just seems like everything else is taken back to the jokes. So let me get into it. Let's go into the likes. Okay, I want to say what I liked about the film. What I liked about the film is I felt like the action scene were there. There was a scene that was in the trailers where he's like loading up his gun without like touching the clip at all. He just kind of tosses it in the air. And this scene is in like the first 20 minutes of the film. That scene is there. And I thought that was dope still. So it still looked great on screen. What I did for this film, I didn't watch any extra trailers. I didn't watch any behind the scenes, any of that stuff, because I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to spoil myself to the fact that what I knew was coming. But unfortunately, being that I've been doing this for a while, like again, I've been watching movies my whole life. I've been critiquing them my whole life. I just started doing it on video for you guys. You kind of understand, you kind of know what's coming, right? So knowing that there's a lot of characters in this film that I kind of seen coming, like I seen, especially when they kind of hinted at it, I kind of seen where it was going. I'm going to give you guys one little quick spoiler, just one little one. There's a scene with Chris Evans, right? And because I know I've watched every Marvel film since Blade, hell, since Howard the Duck, since I already know where they were going with it, not 1 second did I feel that this was going to be Chris Evans' Captain America. And it wasn't. So I'm going to leave it at that. But again, if you watch these movies as long as I have, you kind of understand where this stuff is going. Again, another character that was in there, I really can't wait to talk about because I kind of seen this coming. And what's funny about that scene was Ryan was kind of like, you never liked me. And I really felt that because if you guys just knew the history of Ryan Reynolds and his co-stars that disliked him, you'll understand where they're going with this. And I'm going to let you do your research as far as that. I'm going to leave it at that. But those were two things that I liked about the film. All in all, I feel like I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. It was a solid watch. There was nothing special about it. And it's probably the best Marvel film that has come out in the past 2 years. So it has that, but that's not saying much. Like, in all honesty, it's really not saying much. Would I rather watch this versus watching the Marvels? Yeah. Would I rather watch this versus watching Eternals? Yeah. So I kind of, you have to give it that. Would I rather watch this than watching Thor, Love and Thunder? Of course. So I give it that. But other than that, I just feel like it was a bunch of nonsense. Deadpool and Wolverine feels like a spoof of comic book films. So it's kind of like, we're calling this a comic book film, right? That's like calling Scary Movie, like the Scary Movie franchise with the Wayans brothers. It's like calling Scary Movie an actual scary movie, like you would consider it a horror, right? That's not what this is. It is a comedy. It's a spoof off of what goes on in comic or a comic book film. That's what we got in this film. And it was a very lackluster film for me personally. I didn't think the villain was good enough for this film. Kind of came out of left field. Again, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to talk about that later on this week. So, again, yeah, 5 out of 10. I think it's a solid film. I recommend you guys going to see it. Why? Because one, it's a Marvel film. It's the third Deadpool. And yeah, I mean, what else is there to do this weekend? To be honest with you guys, I hope you all go see it. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Tell me what you think about this film, like, all honest. Like, those reviews, those raving reviews, I was just listening to the John Campea show, and they kind of was just saying how it's almost perfect and so on and so forth. And I'm like, if that's an almost perfect film, these guys really don't know film, really haven't watched anything, and really haven't experienced great films, like, at all. Perfect. This film is far from perfect. Like, it's a disgrace almost. But at the time of where the MCU is right now, I have to give it its kudos. Another thing, for you guys to be giving Secret Invasion all this unique criticism, and you guys glorify these other films that has nothing to do with nothing, it blows my mind. The bringing in of the TVA to this film, what I thought it was going to be versus what it was two different things. So maybe they didn't give away too much with that. But what I thought it was a lot better than what it turned out to be. And I'm going to get into that more later on this week. I'm going to leave y'all at that because I don't want to spoil anything. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.